Hello. Let me just switch over. Uh, Hello. Um, um, did you know that Zoom has built-in VTubers? Uh, I didn't. Oh, well, I do now. Um, Welcome to lunch break, my lunch break specifically. Um, this show is going to be uh sort of taking back my own time during the workday. And just kind of doing whatever I have on my mind that I can't get to while I'm working. So I can set aside an hour once a week or so and get to it during this instead. Um, so I don't know. Does that sound good? Are people into that? um, Also, thank you to Jaunt uh, for the wonderful waiting screen. That's all. Well, that's my office, I suppose. But Jaunt did a really great job with the audio. Let me make sure these are working. My burrito fell open, an egg fell out. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Emily, I had another meeting right before this. No problem. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could be here. Um, it's your lunch break. You're allowed to do. You're not, especially if you're not being paid by the company during your lunch break. You can do whatever you want. It's your time. I'm having steamed braised pork dumplings, and fried rice. But I went through the fried rice and it was a little too spicy. Um, I don't know how this avatar is gonna work out. Uh, it's fun because I can either look at the camera or be looking away from the camera and just kind of there's not like an in between or a different direction. Those are the options. And I can be smiling or smiling, mouth open or mouth closed. Mill is having egg noodles with lamb and cabbage. That's awesome. I'm not eating, but I just got back from the dentist. Don't eat anything until you can feel your mouth. That's a good idea. Um, what is on my mind today? Google says you'll always be smiling in my Zoom avatar. It would be cool. What we tried to do, I don't know if this is like, I don't know how kayfabe the show is supposed to be, but what we wanted to do was extract the models from Zoom because they're saved locally or to my account, and we couldn't find where the files were. Or we found the files, but they're in like Zoom's proprietary file type, and they're just random numbers and letters. And if we touched anything, it broke. But maybe we'll try that again, because or it's part of the effect that we use Zoom's like tracking and everything else. I'm also not sure where to place the camera to make this most effective, because if I place it like right now, it's like almost to my very right, because if I place it any closer to the center of my screen, it will in fact mean I'm looking at you the entire time, and I don't want that. This is me looking at chat, where chat is on my monitor. This is me looking straight ahead, and this is me looking down at what we're doing. My other monitor, which is below the. and I hope you like spreadsheets, because today I should explain what we're doing. I have been rewatching Dropout.tv's Make Some Noise and tracking the points that every player receives. And I want to make a list of how many points every player has, both per episode and overall. The problem is, if you're not familiar with Make Some Noise, after a certain point, Sam starts awarding points that are not numbers. They are other quantities, references to things, financial. So I've been working on this a little bit. I think what the method here is that we come up with some categories for what kind of points get awarded and try to limit the kind of points. And then each player can have a certain amount of, like, they have points, but they also have like distance, and also money and a certain amount of volume or something like that, and you can list it all together. And it might be possible to convert like distance into points. Like if we can figure out the size of a point, if Sam ever says a handful of points or a cup of points, then we can calculate how many points are in that volume. And ideally we can do that for every kind of point. Like how much does a point cost? If it costs $1, then every time he awards like $3, then we can convert that into points. So I've been doing this a little bit. I guess I can walk you through what... Is this tracking my mouth at all? I guess I can walk you through what I've come up with so far. I don't know if I want to play clips on stream just yet. Maybe another time. I think this one I have enough to do to like clean up my sheet and start calculating things that it's not necessary to do that on the stream right now, but maybe if this is an ongoing project, I could keep doing that. My nose is running. Did you know my nose runs, like, at the start? It wasn't running before. It's running now. If I sneeze, what does my avatar look like? Maybe I should try to sneeze. Anyway. This is something we've been passively doing while watching too. Yeah, John and I will watch, this was before I started that, like, official spreadsheet, but John and I, while watching, will, like, if something comes up, we'll say, like, I think you can convert that, or, like, I think he means, like, if he references a movie, we can say, like, well, maybe use that timestamp in the movie to calculate as the number of points or something. If the stream is running, so is your nose. That's absolutely correct. But I guess let me just go through. I did some calculations already, but that's the fun part, so I'll do them again for you guys. Also, this stream, because it is my lunch break, I should, I guess, housekeeping or whatever a little bit. The stream will run for an hour, not including the starting soon screen. And I don't know I don't have a set time slot for it yet. My goal is that I'll do it once a week at, 11 a.m. Central Time or Cable Time, one of the 5 weekdays each week. It might be a little random. I don't know. I haven't gotten that approved yet. Maybe I should just pick a day. But the idea is, like, I have something on my mind during the day. I make it to lunch, I share with you guys what I'm doing and spend some time on that. Sort of, you know, reclaim my own time and space between work hours. So yeah, in the first episode, Sam does not get silly with the points for a good while, and then he says 11D. I believe, let me look this up again, but I believe 11D was coined by Tolkien. 11D etymology. What do we got? Popularized by the British author J.R.R. Tolkien with the meaning 110. So we'll use that. Bilbo's 11st birthday. Yeah. So he says 11D. We'll use that as 110. So that's numeric, but it's silly, but it's easily convertible. A Googleplex is 10 to a Google or 10 to 10 to 100. I tried putting that on the sheet, and it if I show you, yeah, it gives an error that it's greater than that number, and it cannot be displayed properly. So I don't know how we're gonna handle that when it comes to like calculating things. It might be that Brennan's score is forever so large that we just can't. But we'll do that for now, and I don't know, maybe convert things to scientific later or something. Move to Obsidian sheets. Can Obsidian do a Googleplex? A Googleplex is more than every atom in the universe, so I think Brennan wins. You would think so, but people do get assigned infinity points later on. And I know some infinities are larger than other infinities, but it's definitely larger than a Googleplex. But I guess that's null if Brennan was also assigned infinity. What I also want to do here, this is not as interesting for stream, but I want to renumber things a little bit because I have to split up. When points start getting assigned to like multiple people at a time, I have to split the rows so that they are so that they show up. So you can track directly to what round something was awarded, even if, which I was doing initially just by having it all in one row, but because points get assigned unevenly in rows where people share points, I'm gonna have to split the rows to show each person instead, like each time a point is assigned instead of that. Do I want to convert this to a... No, we'll do it later. This is counting the original Game Changer episodes before it spun off. I haven't done that, and I don't know if I want to. I guess we could, because it's only the 3 Noise Boys, right? And that would only add like 30 points or something. So I guess we could and just have it... If we want to be comprehensive, that would be much easier to calculate. But might get its own, might get a separate spreadsheet that gets added onto this. Let me get through the actual seasons, and then maybe I'll go back to that if I'm looking for more. So Josh and Zach got 5 each for this. There is a point here in episode 1 where Zach says split or like each, and Sam says, oh, split, don't get greedy, players. So we can tell from that if points are awarded to multiple people, or like in a round where multiple people are noising together, then typically they divide it equally, or we assume equally. They split the points, unless Sam specifies that it's each or like an uneven distribution. So I guess just I'm making that note. I guess I can write that here. Points are divided equally unless otherwise specified during awarding. So this is 0. Let me renumber these. So this is that divided in 2, and both of them get that each. So the conversion will also be, let's insert a little comment. I don't know how to write that. I don't know how to word that. This is 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and he gets really lazy with the points on that episode. Okay, next one. An intergalactic amount of points. Is that, like, volume of space? Of, like, multiple galaxies? Intergalactic multiple galaxies. Is it distance or is it volume of, like, should I calculate the distance from Earth to the nearest point in another galaxy, or do you just have to leave the Milky Way? What's the shortest distance between two galaxies? That's not a bad way to do it. Though I feel like it should start from Earth, just like, because we can assume that intergalactic in this context, especially because the prompt was that it was an alien abduction, so they're starting on Earth. We can assume they're starting on Earth. Calculate distance to your nearest point of non, or is it just like distance to leave the Milky Way? Like, if it's intergalactic, is it just that you can leave the Milky Way, or is it you have to travel to another galaxy? You have to have made it to another galaxy. Calculate nearest point of Andromeda? I think Andromeda is the closest. Part of me is also like, actually this refers to the volume of at least 2 galaxies. Like, it refers to the entire galaxy. Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. I think strictly it's between galaxies. Yeah, it's definitely exiting the galaxy. It may or may not be entering another one. I think for safety, we should say it's entering another galaxy. So, distance to closest point of Andromeda? I might have to do actual math on this, but sometimes, hello? No, okay. Sometimes Reddit has done all the work for me. Andromeda Galaxy is approximately 2.5 million light years. In what units, though? Units are going to be another question. I think first we just have to convert it to something, and then when we have enough of them, we can calculate from... We can pick a unit that represents all of the units. So let's change this to, like, definitely distance. Center to center of galaxy. Yeah, I want it to be from Earth to Andromeda. Distance from Earth to Andromeda Galaxy. 2.537. I would like a more specific number, but I mean, if it's in measured in light years, it might not matter that much. Is there like a like Google Earth like measuring tool for space? 2.5 million light years from Earth. That's what I'm getting. I might want to double check that one, but pretty sure that's Milky Way is only like 100,000 light years away wide, so not gonna make a big difference. That could be that's not a big deal. Distances between them are much larger than the size of a galaxy, so center to center is, yeah, okay. Let's, okay. That's that one. This is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9. Okay, so next one. 50 points for the dialogue and another, well, this one's just straight up 25. 50 points for the dialogue and another 51 points for the dance. So in total, that's 101 points. That's just points. It's silly, but it's just points. What else are you saying? Plus they're probably moving around, so it depends on time of year. Also true. So I think I don't want I want to be precise, but also I think grounding in this case is gonna get us like nowhere. Let's make that a little, okay. An ad for the new McDonald's sandwich, the Macbeth. Oh no, I skipped the venti one. A venti amount of points, volume. It could also be caloric. We could also read this as caloric, but in my mind, a venti amount of points means a venti cup of points. And we don't know how large a point is. I guess we can assume it's smaller than a venti cup. But I looked it up, and a venti is either 20 if it's hot, and 26 fluid ounces if it's cold. Or it used to be 24, and now it's 26, something like that. We don't know if it's a hot drink or a cold drink. I guess we could check what was said in the episode if we want to pick, but like venti itself is not specific. Like he said venti, so that's all we get. Room temperature, should I average it? Room temperature, according to Starbucks, would be a cold drink, I believe. Which would make it 26 fluid ounces. Or 24? If I keep it as a range, I can just ignore the 24 one. Let me look that up also. Venti cold size. There's 24. Venti iced are 26, but in the rest of the world, okay, no. Starbucks cold cup venti 24. Venti size cold drinks are 24. Where did I find that it was 26? Reddit, which I trust less. Hold on. Iced coffee. Venti is 24. Okay, thank you, Starbucks, for specifying. What I'm imagining also is at the end, I at the end of this, I'll have a list that looks like, oh, Anna got 25 points and 20, or like, if it converts by like 5, like 100 points if cold or if hot, and 150 if cold. Something like that. Hello, Cat Guy Bob. We are trying to convert the scores from Dropout.tv's Game Changer, in which the points are very silly. The premise of this show is that I do stuff that I can't do while I'm at work, so I'm doing them on my lunch break. Volume of a container doesn't change, fluid volume does. The container does in this instance change, though. I guess, though, the 24 is to make up for ice, so it should just be 20, right? Yeah, it should just be 20, because the extra 4 ounces are for ice. Oh, I do that also. I am crocheting. Hello. I love to crochet. That was almost what this episode was. Make some noise, not game changer. I'm sorry. If you order a drink with ice, you get like half a cup. That's true. That's not 4 ounces. But that is like the point of it, right? Like a venti is called a venti because it's 20. Is a venti the fluid or the container regardless of ice? Yeah, in this instance, a venti, you go up to start the cashier and you say, I want a venti of blah, blah, blah. If you get a hot drink, they will give you 20 fluid ounces of that, or a container that can hold 20 fluid ounces. If you get a cold drink, they will give you a container that can hold 24 fluid ounces. I think, though, in this case, the points are as many points as can fit in the volume of a venti. Also, onion. Yeah, we could just interpret it as 20 points. But I think in this case, because it was referencing Starbucks, it is supposed to be a container of points. To me, a venti is 20 fluid ounces, however many points that is. I wonder if we could just convert. It would be really convenient if a point was 1 fluid ounce. If a point was 1 fluid ounce, then a venti of points would also just be 20 points. Yeah, onion, exactly. I'm gonna highlight this. Let's insert. Well, no, I don't want to insert a comment. We'll do this. Possible conversion for 1 point equals 1 fluid ounce. We'll keep this nice and highlighted. If we can figure out a point's volume, that will answer a lot of other questions. Yes. Volume and ideally dimensions, because some of these are not volume based. Um, and at some point it's gonna be like, yeah, its total volume is a fluid ounce, but it's square, so you can't fit 20 in a round, in a cylinder. You can only fit fewer than that. This is like the time we measured an egg to see how it would cook while falling. Yeah, that's what I do in my free time. Okay, next one. And after the new McDonald's sandwich, the Macbeth. And then the points awarded were these hands, about to give you points. Should I interpret it that as he did not give him points, or that the points were given off screen? Quantity 2 handfuls? That could be a way to do it. It is, like, another idea. I don't know if this is necessarily the way I want to go. Another idea is to find what line that is in Macbeth and use, like, the line number as the conversion. How many fluid ounces can you hold in your hands? We'll do that kind of math later. We have to make sure that everything is down first. So, I guess we're calling this... But, like, also, is that line referencing... Okay, let's do some research. These hands about to give you... Or these hands... about to... I don't know the actual line. What? Will these hands never be clean? I think that's the line they're referencing. Because I could search further, but the fact that Google is turning up "these hands never be clean" as the first, as the several results means that's probably what, like, the only use of it is. Okay. The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands never be clean? No more o' that, my lord, no more o' that. You mar all with this starting. How many points did Shakespeare gain in his life? Good question. It's referencing the blood on Lady Macbeth's hands. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is part of Out Damn Spot. 1, 2, why? 'Tis time to do it, hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and afeard. What need we fear who knows it? But none can call our power to account. Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him? What? These hands never be clean. No more. Okay. Let me write the reference number here. How do you do this? Act 5, Scene 1, line 39. What? Not handfuls, but how much blood is in a human body? Like, yeah, she says these hands will never be clean because she feels that she's covered in the blood of the people she's killed. Or the person she killed. And no matter how much she washes her hands, she feels that she cannot get it off. What these hands will never be clean. Their hands are dirty because they're covered in blood. One of us needs to have Sammy's using metric or imperial measuring for points. I mean, kind of, I want to bring Sam into this at some point. If they're ones that, like, are really sticky and we can't figure out numbers for, or, like, it really depends on what Sam was thinking, then it might be worth asking Sam, like, hey, can you clarify what you think this means? But I feel like that spoils it a little, so I want to save that as an option for ones that we really, like, cannot settle on a definition of. In part because he probably did not think it through. That's not, like, this is absolutely not what we're supposed to be doing with these numbers. This is fucked up. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Surface area of hands. The other problem is he's not actually quoting that line. He's saying these hands about to give you points. Measurement showed the surface area of the hand had a mean of blah 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 and blah blah. Okay. Should we do surface area? I'm thinking it through. It's either volume or surface area of the hands. And not what can be contained in the hands, but the actual. Let's do surface area because I think that's most faithful to the origin of the the line. Lady Macbeth feels her hands are covered in blood. Using surface area blood to calculate. So the hands are female. They are Lady Macbeth's hands. He's definitely referencing the line, but it's kind of nonsense. It's all nonsense is the problem. Correct, and it's all nonsense. So, okay, I guess I'll use the female range of surface area for this. cm squared. Okay. A point per ninja. I guess we're moving on. TV premiere of R-rated movie in which the curses have been replaced by weird words. So in this case, Jaquise says ninja instead of saying the N-word. During a scene amongst, like, gangsters going into some kind of heist or something. I can't remember exactly, but he's trying to, like, rev up his squad. So, a point per ninja. He says ninja 4 times. But he's referring to a crowd. Should we say, like, 20 ninjas? Or 4? Because he says 4. I think we say 4 because otherwise we're just guessing how many people are in that crowd. Unless I want to watch that scene really closely, I guess. I'm gonna say 4. Maybe we'll come back to that one. One of the beekeeper TikTok narrations, but they got stung a lot of times. And then so Anna was awarded a queen bee amount of points. I don't know. What is that volume? Should we do volume of a queen bee? Or is it like, how much is a queen bee worth to the hive? Are sound alerts not working? Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you heard it? Okay, I just don't have my own. Here we go. Okay. Price on eBay for a queen bee. That's not a bad way to do it. Because if you say, like, what is a queen bee worth? But it's also a queen bee amount. And he does say worth sometimes. So this one's hard. Price on eBay is a really good way to do it. We're either doing queen bee value. Let's just Google that. Let's just see. The queen bee is a legendary pet from honey. It is currently worth a little more than the snowflake potion. It is currently worth a little less than the rhino. Weight of a queen bee? I don't... Because I feel like a queen bee does have... like, the value of a queen bee is a lot more than just the presence of a queen bee. Or so, because, like, without a queen bee, you cannot have a hive. And if you can't have a hive, like, you can't keep bees. Like, comparing a bee to a queen bee is definitely worth more than a regular bee. So we have to take that into consideration somehow. I think a good way to do that is monetarily, and then maybe we convert that to points when we figure out how much a point is worth. I think that's a good way to do it. How much is a queen bee? Queen bee is for sale. 1 to 10 queens. Ooh, it varies based on the month. Uh-oh. According to this website, well, let's bring this over here. According to this website, a queen bee. How is 1 to 10 queens the same price as, like, just 1 or 10? These are all probably getting more expensive because they're dying. These points are also going to change price depending on what month this was shot, I guess. That's for 2024. This season is 2022, I think, if that matters. Typical pricing for bees, for queens, r/beekeeping. Reddit's gonna come up in every single one of these. Commercial operations in the US lost around 80% of the colonies this spring. Prices you're seeing reflective of disaster. Okay, but this is from this month. Or from 3 months, this year. In any case, I'm going with some Golden West Queen stock from OHB, Orland, California area, bred by Randy Oliver for mite resistance. They're $45 plus shipping, which seems reasonable to me. There's a local guy selling queens for $90, but it looks like they're available year-round, which is probably why they have a premium price tag. Okay. So $100 is too much. $40 is extremely reasonable. Let's round it to 50? Does that seem fair? Using monetary value of a queen bee as stand-in for value of queen bee. let's call it $50. Price fluctuates with season and bee population health. So took a rough estimate from anecdotes on Reddit. Okay. I think when it filmed wasn't relevant, the value could change with time anyway. When Sam said it matters. I do think in some cases it definitely matters when Sam said it. We'll get to one of those soon. Even if it was worth a different amount then, the value of points would be worth that now. Also true. I think in this case, because it's a monetary conversion, we should just use like what a bee is worth now, because the money to points conversion is also going to fluctuate the same way, probably, I guess. And separately, there are instances where Sam says, like, there's one that I have on the list right now that's like 3 points in an installment of 1 point per year. In which case, I also think it'd be very funny to have that person's points listed as like 500 2022, 501 2023, 502. And that's just a funny image to me, and I think keeping it in mind, but not necessarily worrying about it in this moment. And then everyone else will have a like, what are their total points as of this very moment? If there's ones that are like involve compound interest or something, might involve having a running number that updates daily. That would be fun to do with the spreadsheet, to have some math running. Okay. Let's renumber these. Okay. 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. And then we're on episode 3. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1. Okay. Okay, this one's numeric. A skippity boppity boop amount of points. I don't even remember what that prompt was. I'm gonna have to go find that. Should I do that right now, or should we? I guess I shouldn't be watching things during my work hours. I don't know if this is even tracking my audio. I don't think it is. Okay, let's go. Let's add a sound source. Does that work? Is that happening? Maybe it is. Okay. Make some noise. Season 1. We're on episode 3, and round.
So sad.
Okay. Sign off credits of a podcast with too much staff. Nope. Jimco's dying person's last words. Okay, I think that's it. This must be it. Yeah.
Very well done to you. I will say 1 9/10 point.
Yeah, okay.
For that. The scores are pretty tight. Zach.
Yes.
Okay, let me write this down. A dying person's last words. They realize they have a little more life in them, so they have to vamp. And then the points awarded are a skip boppity boop amount.
Also, for me, I never really got into jazz.
Words to live by. A skip boppity boop amount of points for you.
Okay, so I believe what this is referencing in this instance is both Jacob making the sound of the heart monitor, skip boppity boop, and then also that Zach says, I never really got into jazz. So it is scatting and it's a heart monitor. We could do it as like BPM. Like the average heart rate of someone with a dying heart of a geriatric individual. Because like if boop is a heartbeat, right? If boop represents a heartbeat, then skip boppity boop is when the heart is arrhythmic, right? So I think it would be fair. I don't think that would be. I think that could work. What BPM was Jacob doing? Okay, we're gonna find a heart rate calculator. Can I like calculate? No. Calculate BPM by tapping. Tap BPM. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. If boop represents a heart, yeah, exactly. So, should I do it through the entire thing?
Life in them, so they have to vamp.
Or just one? I guess it's an average anyway.
That whatever you make of your life.
Hold on. Let me show you what I'm doing. Okay. Mute just to be safe. Oh. Can I don't know, Dropout's pretty cool with this kind of thing. But yeah, I'll mute because it's like a lot of it. Okay, Jacob hasn't started yet. Oh, fuck, shit. It's auto resetting. That's kind of a problem. Hold on. Auto reset. Minute. We'll do this in BPM. Or yeah. Shit. Okay. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Cool. This should work. Okay. We're doing this. Okay. That's what we got. 63 beats per minute, including pauses throughout. 63 BPM. So if boop is a heartbeat based on Jacob's imitation of a heart rate monitor, then skip bop boppity boop is a rhythmic heart. So 63 BPM is the heart rate represented by Jacob's beeping the characters. What would this be? This is a time span? It's a beats per minute, so it's tempo? Should I just put tempo? I guess we'll do tempo. Hopefully there are other ones that are tempos that we can convert from. Ratio, temporal ratio. I just want to be able to relate it to like something else that's similar. Bring you firmly into the lead. Actual number not stated. We'll come back to that one when we've done some math, because that requires Jacob to have been falling behind, but also to then receive more points than everyone else has so far. But it's also firmly into the lead, so it will have to be a decent number ahead. That one's a hard one. Enough to bring Jacob into the lead. Clickbait newsy, all sorts of points. You need to start marking who won the episode. I actually do have a separate spreadsheet here that I haven't commented on at all. Here are all the players. And I was gonna start doing calculations there. Here are the episodes and who won each episode. I didn't finish 1.7 yet. And then here are facts about the golden year. Just cause. Alright. All sorts of points. In my mind, that's 1 point for every kind of point. But that's not how all sorts is used. Like, colloquially. I think we have to come back to that one. If you guys have ideas for how to calculate, like, all sorts, I'm gonna say vague numeric for that one. This one needs to split up. Well, actually, each of them got the same amount, so we'll just put 2. Hey, it works out. I'm reading that as bringing Jacob and Zach to a tie. I don't know what that means right now, so we can't calculate it. Points as far as the eye can see. So that's not as far as the eye can see. That is a point per unit of distance that the eye can see, right? The eye can see, I actually calculated this for a different one. In Sam's case, as someone who's 5'6", this is up to the horizon line, and it's 2.7 miles. So this one is... Okay, yeah, instead of tempo, we're going to put ratio, because that I think is going to be a good way to look at it later. Points as far as the eye can see, that's going to be ratio, and it's going to be like need size of point, but as far as the eye can see is 2.7 miles for Sam. So this is going to be like, if we can figure out the dimensions of a point, then we can calculate for like if a point is a point is definitely smaller than a mile, but if a point were 1 mile, then we know that this is 2.7 points per mile. So I'll leave that blank for now. We'll come back to it. Quite a few points to the few of you as well. I think it is possible to calculate what we can calculate what a few is. I think it's like, what, 3? Maybe 4? Quite a few is like 5 or 6. More than a few, which is 3 or 4, question mark? Should I just put that as 5 for now? I feel like 5 is quite a few. If a few is 3 or 4, which I think we can all agree on, a few is... I mean, like, in the context where you're handing out maybe 10 points at a time, a few is like 3. If you're handing out, like, millions, then it'd be like 100. But, in this case, it's... A few is proportional, I guess, is the problem. He did start the episode saying like normal-ass numbers, though, so I think we can call it like 3. And quite a few is like 5. This is also quite a few. Maybe I should just put like quite a few. And then we'll come back and calculate what quite a few is. This is not split though, this is each. Points as far as I can see, ratio, okay.
Mein Zuiten Kaiser Wanja Schatten.
Hello. I think as far as trash talk goes, Jake handed it to Jake a little more than Zach handed it to Jake. We're gonna say lopsided points for that round. So we don't know how many points that is, but we can split this row into 2 rows because we know it's not evenly distributed. So more than Zach, fewer than Jacob. We don't know how many, but that one's rough because I don't think there's even an indication of like how many. It's just that Jacob has more than Zach. Which maybe if we calculate how many Zach has at the end minus that, we can like add 1 or 2. Or if we can set up a standard for what like points handed out. If he just says the word points, how many is that? And then we can split it unevenly for the two of them, I guess. Okay, points skipped. Zach wins for this one, but I don't think at this point that Zach wins the mini game. I think there is a point in the series where the mini game equals 1 point, but at this point they haven't discussed that at all, so it's probably 0 if it's entirely skipped. I mean, you're also right. It's at least 2 points. Is at least 2. These are. I'm clinging on to like any semblance of meaning that we can understand. So many points. So many goddamn points. And then the players go, look at all the points. He's gonna run out of paper. Oh shoot! And points. So it's possible for him to run out of points, I guess? I would say that's like as many points as can fit on the sheet of paper. Fit on the... Because he's gonna run out of paper and points. So the points have to fit within the area of the paper. So it can fit on the area of the roll of calculator paper. On the remaining roll? That's nuts. Let's say it's trivial how much he typed so far. I bet you someone... this is gonna involve me, like, taking a screenshot of it and figuring out the volume of the paper cylinder, and I think it's gonna happen. I'm not doing that now, but we will. Okay. Next episode. However, Yo-Yo fantasizes the world will one day depend on their skill set. An Ocean's 11 amount. No, you know what? Make that Ocean's 12. This is just a straight up movie. That's pretty clearly 12. I don't know. Because it's not Ocean, like... Because he could have just said 12. An Ocean's 11 amount. Make that Ocean's 12. I guess Ocean's 11... Bye, Onion! Thank you for coming. You're very helpful on this. An Ocean's... The thing is, the 11 that Ocean's 11 actually refers to is people. It's 11 people. Ocean's 12 refers to 12 people. So is it just like... He gets 12 people worth of points? What do they steal in Ocean's 12 and how much is it worth? Let's look that up. What do they steal in Ocean's 12? The Imperial Coronation Fabergé egg. But part of it is also if they can steal it, they win a bet. And if they win a bet, then the guy they're against will pay off their debt to the guy they robbed last time. But I guess... I feel like you can argue that the value of the egg is also the value of the debt that they owe. Imperial coronation from 1897 is valued at $18 million. Okay. There's also smaller thefts in the movie. That's also true. Is Ocean's 12 longer than Ocean's 11? That is a thing. We know. He says Ocean's. The way he says this, you know what? Make that Ocean's 12. He's saying it like it's an improvement on Ocean's 11, which we know is not. Because it's a better movie. They stole 160 million in Ocean's 11. That's a good point. So we can't do the value of the Fabergé egg. You know what we can do? If their debt to the other guy is $160 million, right? I don't really remember why they were in debt to the guy that they stole from. But anyway, if they stole 160 million the first one, and they're in debt for that much, we can say that much plus the cost of the Fabergé egg, maybe? They pay off the amount they stole and interest. 160 million they stole plus 38 million in interest. Okay. So let's say 160 million they stole plus 38 million in interest plus 18 million for stealing the Fabergé egg, which allows them to get the other guy to pay off their debt. What if it's the production cost of the movie? That's another good way to do it. Plus 38 mil 38 mil interest that they owe to Benedict, right? Is that what his name is? Yeah. That they owe to Benedict, paid off by the fox for winning bet by stealing 18 million Fabergé egg. So Ocean's 12 monetary wins, therefore total of numbers. We gotta chat somehow to stream layout. That's a good point. Sam is saying it like Ocean's 11 is a unit, so I think production cost makes more sense. But I mean, if it's a unit and you understand, like, an Ocean's 11 amount, oh, that's $160 million. Like, you can use that argument both ways. Let me look up the production costs, though, because if Ocean's 12 cost more to produce than Ocean's 11, that's another good way to do it. Production cost. 110 million. It's really funny when heist movies are like, we're stealing $50 million, and the movie cost more to make than 50 million. Like, okay, it did cost more to make than Ocean's 12. Or, production costs. And for 12. I just had a funny thought, which is not helpful right now, but if Ocean's 11 cost 85 million and Ocean's 12 cost 110 million, then we can calculate the cost of a single ocean. Or an Ocean's 1. We can also use it proportional to Ocean's 8 and 13. Okay, let me think. I think I want to go with the total that of the money stolen in Ocean's 12, because it's kind of a coincidence that Ocean's 12, like the production cost is kind of incidental to the actual context of the movie. This also requires like actual knowledge of the movie. And I just think it's funnier. I just think it's the funnier of the two. I think when he says like an Ocean's 11 amount, it's like if you were to do an Ocean 11, you would get this much. And if you do an Ocean's 12, you get this much. And if you're doing it, then you're doing the heist and getting the money from it. That's how I'm thinking of it. So I'm gonna do the calculation on this. Da-da. $216. Oops. Hello? Let me type, please. 216 mil. I think that's how I want to think of it. 76 trombones worth. I don't know what that means. I know it's a reference to a song. But it's not one I'm familiar with. I know it's a show tune. Is it? It feels out of pattern to just say, like, the volume of 76 trombones. I feel like... Should I look at the lyrics of 76 trombones? Or should we just come back to this one? Oh, we're also over time. My lunch break is over. And I think that's not bad. I think we made good progress here. Thank you everyone for coming.
Then let's get to work.
You're a bit late. Oh, you're right on time. It's time for my going back. I'm actually off today, which is the irony. But I will be doing this during my actual work hours, not during work. I have this fear that my boss is going to see this and she's going to be like, you cannot be streaming yourself during work hours. And it's going to suck. But what I'm actually doing is I am streaming for, I'm not billing them for the time that I'm streaming anyway, so it's fine. Thank you so much for coming. I will be doing this again, hopefully, every week from now on. It will be 1 hour, probably 11 cable time. One of the 5 weekdays. I'm sorry if it's a little random to start. It might end up being Fridays just because I'm gonna forget all week and then be like, shit, it's Friday, I have to do this. Or it'll be like a day where I don't have any meetings or anything.
Sorry to bother you on your lunch break, but the coffee machine is being weird again.
It's okay, Justin. My lunch break's over. I'll go get that. No, it's good timing, Justin. I'll go help you. So let I don't know. I'm done. I guess that's it. So I guess thank you everyone for coming. I'll see you next week. Remember to, be kind to yourself, do the things you enjoy, take care of yourself with all the time that you have available. Don't get burned out. Make sure you're doing things you enjoy. And carve out a little time for yourself every day, with whatever you have available. I know that can be hard. And I don't know, the whole point of the show is like, don't let holding a job crush your personal freedom or creativity. Not that I feel like my job's doing that. I actually quite like my job, but it's nice to, make time to attend to the things that I have to set aside because of the things I'm focusing on during work. John says this break has been lunch. Yeah. I had a great meal. I hope you all did too. And thank you so much for coming. And I'll see you all next time. What do people say? I can only think of like Otsure, Otsukare sama desu. I guess I'll close the Zoom meeting. Thank you all for coming. I expect your reports on my desk by Friday. Thank you. Next Friday. It is Friday. See you, Space Cowboy. Lunch broken. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for coming and breaking lunch with me. Have a good day. Work hard. Hardly working hard. Get back to work. Get back to work. Bye.